couple of listeners. So, guys, thank you. This is CoinLogic Online here on Twitter. You can follow me on Hive on CoinLogic Online, and then, of course, coin-logic.com, which is the full website where you can get all the crypto market research that you can handle right there. So I am pleased to be joined today with Matt from 3Speak. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm well, man. Thank you. Everything going good.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. We're trying a new format here, trying to do this whole Twitter Spaces thing, getting some people, trying to get some people involved. We had a little contest. So if you were following along, we had a few people that actually followed all of the instructions. So we do have some winners that we're going to be giving away some LAYRNX miner tokens. And we're going to be talking all about the token structure for the Speak network and just making free speech content, putting it up on Web3, and why it's so important to get set up on Web3 these days. So, again, thank you for joining me. And so what was basically, when did you guys get your start with 3Speak? Let's just kind of get going with that real quick.
I guess it's
been a journey.
Yeah, it's like 3 years ago we started. We released the first version of the platform, like a very, very basic version of 3Speak, the platform. And within like 2 or 3 months, I was trying to talk to the initial team back then and say to them, how do we build ourselves out of this? Because, of course, with video content, there's a lot of centralized infrastructure, like the encoding, the content delivery, the content storage. And we look after all of that. First of all, it's expensive. Secondly, it can be shut down, right? If the politics that you end up presenting on your platform, or if someone says something on your platform that the main powers that be don't like, that control that infrastructure, they can just shut you down. And this is the nature of Web 2. It's centralized service provision that can be controlled. So I've always been saying to the team, like, how the hell do we decentralize? How do we get ourselves out of 3Speak so that 3Speak becomes something that's run on infrastructure that's run by the community? And it took us a long, long time to rack the ideas together and to meet the right people as well. And slowly but surely the team built. They called me Dan, came on board. And then we ended up getting in touch with Voltec, who knows his stuff on node building and IPFS and distributed storage. And then Disregard Fiat's come on board, and he's really good with the tokenomics side of things, and he's helped us build blockchains. And all of a sudden, and then there's other various members of the teams as well that have come and gone and volunteered their time. And the really great thing is, as you start to go down this path of doing the right thing, which is what we think we're doing, you start to accumulate really, really cool people that are like, they start to kind of come out of the woodwork, and you're like, well, where the hell did these people come from? It's not like we had to go and do a lot of talent search, and it came to us because I think a lot of people realized what we're trying to do was genuine and honest, and trying to obviously decentralize free speech and the infrastructure behind free speech. And so with these people working together, we've managed to come up with a model whereby the community can run the infrastructure peer-to-peer. So instead of relying on us at 3Speak, the Speak network, which is the protocol underneath 3Speak, allows the community to run all the node and infrastructure peer-to-peer. And then the Speak network, as it gets built out, will then incentivize and reward those people who are running those nodes. So it becomes a community-run, operated system that no one entity can just shut people down on. And this gets us away from this centralized Web 2 social media that we currently exist under, and it moves us towards a decentralized social media where you own your account outside of the platforms on a distributed network layer.
Yeah, it's awesome what you guys are building out. It's obviously pretty complicated. So I know when you guys first started off, it was just based on, y'all's centralized servers, and I know that can get crazy expensive for video and that kind of thing. But, the IPFS journey, I'm sure, has been an interesting one to deal with, because I know in just dealing with my own NFT projects and stuff and dealing with IPFS, it can be really slow to load things. So
yeah, sure.
You guys have done a good job of trying to help that, and trying to help get things running correctly and smoothly. I know that, everything, we're all building this up from the ground up, and you guys certainly are doing a great job at doing that. So we're all figuring this out in this crazy space. But it's really like why I post on 3Speak and why, is the free speech aspect of things, because like you said, they can take you down if they don't like what you're talking about, and it can happen at the drop of a hat. And in many cases, they don't really have to give you much of an explanation. It can be extremely vague. You don't know what you said, so it's kind of a nightmare. Well, with 3Speak, that doesn't happen, and that's what I love about it. It's a place for people to be able to come and freely talk what they want to talk about without fear of censorship. And so, with you guys building out this new blockchain side of things, hopefully we can get more people running nodes. What is the easiest way that somebody can come and help support the decentralization of this network without having to run some crazy node structure or something? Is there an easy way to be able to do that?
Yeah, well, we think that the node systems that we're building are relatively easy to operate. So the whole point behind this is if we fail, if we don't make it really easy for any old person off the street to be able to run these node systems. So the first example that we've got so far is the LAYRNX token system, which is run on the Speak claim chain, which is a honeycomb technology built by Deluxe. We've got 40 people that have volunteered and they're running their nodes. They all have this group on the Deluxe Telegram, on the Deluxe Discord, and they all help each other out to run these nodes. And it seems to be working pretty well. There's obviously lots of bugs and things that are being closed out and ironed out, but that's all. Everyone's working together to get those things understood and closed out. And yeah, a lot of the people are, there's some experienced node operators, and they're helping the guys who are more novice at it, but people are learning, and these nodes are being run. And the idea is if we can do that with a Speak claim chain, the next step is to do it for the encoders. And we've been running encoder nodes in the background on a couple of people's personal nodes, and give us a few more weeks to iron out a few of the bugs and the processes there, and we'll start releasing that open source as well, so that anyone such as yourself can get involved in running encoder nodes. And hopefully with that, you'll be able to earn a little bit of money from our beneficiary on Hive as well. And then the next step is the CDN nodes and getting those. And all the infrastructure behind this has been built already. We're just in the testing phase and kind of working out exactly how it's going to roll out. But yeah, I mean, come and get involved in running these nodes, and it just helps decentralize the network basically. And a node shouldn't cost more than between about $20 and $50 a month to run. And we're trying to reward that as much as we can. Whether we can help you break even, help everyone break even perfectly is not guaranteed. But the idea is that we start this off, and it's got to kickstart. It's like a chicken before the egg process. You need the nodes running before you can start rewarding them. And then hopefully the network will grow over time as we roll out more node features and more capabilities to earn. The idea is that if you're running infrastructure on this ecosystem, you will be rewarded in things like Speak governance tokens and all sorts of various other tokens, especially from our Hive, pool that we've got. And yeah, we'll just try and grow this network out, basically.
Awesome. Now I know that there's the desktop application. Is there incentivification for people running just the basic desktop application? I'm guessing that helps share media across different people's desktops, and they're sharing the videos. How does that work?
Yeah, the tech isn't built yet, but that's the idea. So you
Okay.
have the desktop app is out. You can go run it on your local machine, but it doesn't yet automatically. It does turn your computer into a node on IPFS, and so the videos that you play through the app are stored
Gotcha.
they are pinned to your IPFS node. And when we say your IPFS node, it essentially automatically sets you up as a node in the background.
Okay.
But then in terms of running node infrastructure so that you can be rewarded for doing that work, it's not integrated
Okay.
yet. But that is where we're going towards for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, just something, for anybody to be able to just, install something on their computer and be able to run and help decentralize the network even further in one way or another.
Yeah, because I mean, the idea is basically that just by using the desktop app, you are decentralizing the network. That's just basic. Yeah, I mean that's given. But if you kind of hang around with it and keep helping out, what we're doing is we're building the node infrastructure in the background. So we're focusing initially on the encoder nodes, and then it's going to be the CDN nodes, and then it'll be the storage nodes. And it'll be rewarding them as we go as much as we can, and then eventually in the next 6 months or so, we hope we're going to be able to reward with a certain mechanism called DPoS voting, where you become essentially a top 20 elected node operator, and you'll get rewarded but with Speak governance tokens for doing that. That's about 6 to 8 months away. We'll see how it goes. And then once we've got that infrastructure built, we can fairly easily tie that in to the desktop app itself, and then have all of that kind of operate automatically in the background without many of the users even really having to worry too much about it. But we're not there yet. We've got to build the initial node infrastructure first, and then after that we can integrate it into the desktop app.
Excellent. So with sometimes things that I've found is like one barrier to entry with Hive is sometimes the onboarding. How easy is it for you guys to get started? Is it just coming on and signing on with an email and then getting your Hive stuff started? Like, do you guys making it? Are you guys doing that the light account situation? What's going on with that?
Yeah. So up until now, we've had a fairly simple sign-up process on the actual 3Speak platform, where you get a 3Speak account, and then essentially, so that's just like an email and password sign-up, and it automatically gives you a Hive account in the background. And then if you create a video, you can then claim your keys.
Okay, right? Excellent.
So the idea behind that is the sign-up process. I actually did it with a completely random friend a few weeks ago to test it. And he knows nothing about blockchain, and he signed up in 30 seconds. And it was really great to see, because on Hive we've had a really difficult time with the sign-up process. But on the 3Speak platform, the sign-up process is fairly easy for a normal person that doesn't know about blockchain. And then they get a blockchain account that's kind of reserved for them in the background, and then they can claim their keys once they've created their first video. And then that obviously stops people from claiming too many accounts and not doing anything, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we go forward, so that particular onboarding process is good for the 3Speak platform. And then what you get basically is a 3Speak account, and then you can attach your Hive account or your Hive accounts to that. What we're building next is something called the Ceramic account system, and that's based on the Ceramic network. So that's not a blockchain system, but it is a distributed node system. And you can run a Ceramic node, and then that helps. You can then help the ecosystem track where all the accounts are, and the accounts are just dead simple light accounts: email, password, login, done. Right. So everyone normal user can be familiar with that dead simple sign-up process. And then what that does is it will allow anyone in the Hive ecosystem to integrate that login system, so that any normal person can basically log in to any of these apps. And then at a certain point, they'll see, oh, my account doesn't earn me any rewards. It doesn't give me any immutable storage. It doesn't give me access to all these other Web3 tools like immutable accounts, like immutable communities. How do I get access to that? And then they'll start to see, oh, there's all these Hive accounts that are getting all of that stuff. And then the next question is, how do I get a Hive account? So the idea is that these Ceramic accounts will allow people to be led in to the ecosystem. And not only that, but it will all be off-chain posting. So one of the things that Vortex's done, which is super important, that is kind of unrecognized at the moment because it hasn't really rolled out, but he's built an indexing system for the Ceramic system. So you, with your Ceramic account, you can post to the Ceramic network, and the indexing system indexes all of the content. And this is all off-chain content, right? So it's all really easy to upload, really easy to log in and everything like that.
Yeah.
But what will happen is the other Hive apps will be able to see that indexer and pull that content and combine it with the Hive content and display it on their trending feeds, right? So people are going to start to see their content show up next to Hive content, but then they're going to be asking, well, why does the Hive content have rewards next to it and my content doesn't? And a step a little bit further down the line from that may be that we can get it to a point where we can reward the off-chain accounts with proxy accounts on the Hive network, and then eventually allow them to claim their Hive account later for free, because they will have earned enough Hive in their proxy accounts, right, on the Hive network. So that's kind of where we're going with it. And by the way, just to let you know, I see They Call Me Dan's in the room. I don't know if you want to give him speaker rights, but I'm sure he'll have a few things to say in this chat as well.
Yeah, I just sent him the request, and let's see here if he got it. Let's see here. So yeah, I sent him a request to speak, and let's see if we get that accepted. There we go.
Nice.
How you doing? They call me Dan. Thanks for joining us today.
Yo, can you hear me?
This is half your baby too. Yeah, we hear you. Thanks for coming in.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I've just been listening. Starker's doing a great job of explaining Speak Network.
Yeah, there's a lot of it that I've not even really gotten to dive into as much, and it's kind of blowing my mind the amount of work that you guys are doing back there. It's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, what got you involved in this project? So I know that you're a big fan of free speech. I know you've gotten the boot off of Twitter and that kind of thing. So what is was that your biggest motivation behind getting involved with this project?
What first got me involved with 3Speak was just the censorship. That was back when Alex Jones actually first um, got erased from the internet. Not that I'm an Alex Jones fan, just I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
It's not about if you won't, it's about that you can't. And I saw that they were in the won't or will category. So uh, I quit YouTube and I joined a site called DTube actually, and I was back in the Steam days and just messing around trying to figure out a solution, what's going to work, what's not, and then that's when I met up with Matt. We started. Well, he had already had the idea for 3Speak, and I joined in at the beginning, and we launched it, and it's been a crazy ride so far. But we realized that we kind of jumped in head first, at least mainly speaking for myself, probably partly speaking for Matt as well. We really didn't know about off-chain incentivization, any of these battles that we were going to have. We sort of just said, okay, we'll do what we can, and then we'll just keep doing what we can. The more progress we make, we'll just make more and more progress. And then, of course, we quickly realized that centralization, it costs a lot of money, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't scale. We still wanted to get a hopping stone for people who were being deleted, right? We still can come on, have your videos up. So we felt that that was needed at the time. And I don't regret that decision because we kind of rushed it, but I think it was for good reason. And as we started getting down the scaling path, how can we take the pressure off ourselves? Because we definitely don't want to be figureheads. We don't want to be single points of failure. It's like having a child that you can't control. It's not a fun thing to have that responsibility. So we quickly were looking for ways to become decentralized, censorship resistant. Of course, started with IPFS, and we had the desktop app out for quite a while now, which essentially means we're decentralized. You can log on, spin up your own node, you can share other people's videos, download their videos, seed them, just like a BitTorrent, but for videos. It has the front end and everything works. So there's nothing stopping anybody today to be unstoppable, right? You can go upload your own node, have
Yeah.
your community do it. But then we also learned that in theory, that sounds great, but in practice, it doesn't really work because there's no incentive. It's like, yeah, the incentive of free speech, but you would be surprised at how many people are willing to actually do the work for free speech. And it's not like a sad thing or what should be thing. It is a what is thing. And I'm more of a what is type of guy. So say, okay, well, we need incentives regardless of what's right and wrong. And that's what led us into the Speak Network, realizing that we need to incentivize people. We need to find ways to have an autonomous system that is self sustaining, that no one person can control, that can now store data that goes off the blockchain. The blockchain is like very expensive real estate, it's very finite, and you don't want to just go loading it up with a bunch of data because somebody somewhere has to guarantee download all of that data. That's the thing about a blockchain;
Yeah.
it's in its entirety. Where if you have things like video, off-chain, big data, you can't expect one person to store all that. And if you do, they'll be called Google. So we had to find a way to fracture that up and make sure that pretty much anyone can get involved from the ground up, big or small. And yeah, that's where we are now, and just keep progressing on the idea. But the foundation is there.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, the foundation is there. I mean, and I still use YouTube. I've been fighting it tooth and nail for a while, but it's actually what's funny is that my subscriber growth on this channel for CoinLogic TV on YouTube is growing faster than my Hive account. So I'm trying to use that as a medium to really speak out and talk about what we're building over here and what you guys are building and how, people can come and post their content and actually get rewarded for it, as well as own their data versus, YouTube owning it, or like you said, Google owning it. It's being housed and held by a decentralized network. And that's really what I'm trying to, bring to the table with all of this. And what you guys are building is unlike anything else that I've seen so far. Everything else that I've seen is just, doesn't quite have the robustness that you guys are building for sure. And the fact that it's built on Hive, and what brought you guys to the Steam or Hive blockchain back in, that kind of thing. What made you choose this network versus anything else?
I know. I just come back to the point you're making about it's not quite like anything else out there. I don't think that's. I personally think there are other things out there that are quite similar to what we're trying to do. They're trying to protect free speech, but they're still doing it from a centralized point of view. And I call it Web 2.5. A lot of these platforms they're kind of hearts are in the right place, but without knowing the technology and that this technology is out there, it's really, really hard to formulate a picture of what can be done in your mind. And some of the tech that's been built out there is amazing. And it's even, a lot earlier than what we started. And I feel like Dan and I were quite, in many ways, we've landed on our feet with this because we started doing this at just the right time, to the point where we could visualize how this looks and have the technology there to build it so that it can actually be decentralized. A lot of the other people were a little bit ahead of us in terms of supporting free speech, but the economic models that they had available to them at the time have meant that their ecosystems are now centralized, or they were released as an ICO, or and all the problem with this is that you end up with centralized parties that are again subvertible, and they're going to get regulated. And so what we're hoping is that the Speak network, with the way that it's being released and built in a very decentralized way, where there's no owner, there's no single entity or company that owns any of this stuff, there's no ICO. It's been funded by decentralized DAO fund from the Hive DAO. There are no vested parties, let's say, that can control the path of this. The regulatory entities could call up and say, hey, if you guys don't do this, we're going to arrest you or shut you down. It won't make a little bit of difference to the way the rest of the network operates. And so the Speak network really does have this. And what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to take the technology, and our job really is to make it as easy as possible for these other apps to integrate it, so that they can also benefit from these hardcore, solid as a rock Web3 tools, where it's Web3 with no owners, no vested interests, and that is then unregulatable. And so as a result, their users can benefit from that without having to learn what Hive is or all the other things. They can just kind of start rolling into the ecosystem once these tools are built into the platforms. And hopefully that helps those platforms also protect the efforts that they're making to defend free speech as well.
Yeah, and to that point too, that's where look what happened with the library network when they put out their token, they got hit by the SEC pretty hard, so they had to go and start changing up the way they do things. And now there's the Odyssey website, which is their front end that they're still trying to hide behind, kind of thing, but it's still very centralized. In a lot of ways. And so that's why I kind of, meant that there's not a lot of people out there doing the same thing as far as that decentralized, taking the steps that you guys are taking to make this entire thing decentralized. So it's a beautiful thing what you guys are building there.
Yeah, we like to think that we'll be able to help library at some point. And I say we, I don't mean we as in me and Dan. I mean the community will be able to step forward and say, hey, for example, it may part of the release of the LAYRNX miner token in the network is that a certain percentage of it will be put into a DAO by the community, and then the community will be able to vote to distribute those tokens to whoever they see fit. And it may be that the community comes up with a deal with library where they say, okay, library, if you start using the Speak network and start integrating it and getting away from, they're only going to make themselves stronger against the SEC's attacks that are happening, so they can distance themselves from it. And then the community might say, well, if you guys start using it, every week we'll send out a certain number of the LAYRNX miner tokens so that you can get access to mining in the ecosystem, and then mine some of the Speak governance token so that you can have some actual ownership in the network, and do it by proving that you're using the network at the same time. So it's like a win-win scenario that's potentially being set up there. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's just my idea of what could happen if the community so decided to get together and do that. I just think there's a lot of opportunities for it to go out and approach these other platforms and help them further decentralize and further integrate solid, battle-tested Web3 tools that, you know, the whole philosophy of the way this stuff's been built is from back in the day when Steam took over and it forked into Hive, you know. So we've got that experience and we've built that into the Speak network as well. So yeah, I just think it's going to help. Hopefully, going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. One thing that I do wanted to ask, since I've got you here, is when live stream? When is that going to be a thing, or is it?
You want to take this one, Dan?
What was it? What was that? It broke up a little.
When live stream?
Live stream. Yeah, that's a developer question. I want live stream as well.
Yeah, we want it. Yeah, consider. Yeah, that's a good point. Consider yourself a member of the community as much as Dan and I are, right?
Gotcha.
And it's like we want live streaming as well. And it's at the moment the resources have been focused on building out, like I say, build out the foundations node system. But yeah, we want to build it in as well. We're also very fond of Vim.tv, and we like the work that they're doing. And hopefully, at some point, there'll be a way to integrate that into the Speak network too, so you just get access to live streaming through that, maybe, or.
And that's what we're doing, like over on Blocktunes and stuff like that too. Is more or less, instead of just rebuilding the wheel, we're trying to integrate with some of these awesome, you know, some of these other awesome teams that are out here building stuff. So that would be great to see that Vim 3Speak partnership come along. That'll be really, really cool. So real quick, we're kind of about halfway through this thing. I want to announce the winners of the LAYRNX Miner tokens. Each one of these people will be getting 500 LAYRNX Miner tokens out of my own bags here. And we have got...
That's pretty badass, by the way. That's pretty badass that you're doing that, man.
Hey, man. You know, trying to give back to the community, you know, doing what I can.
Cool.
Now, I am probably going to murder these names, but they will be all listed down in the description below. The video, when we get that all posted up on 3Speak and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So we have DLMMQB. We have German Andra Deg. Arlet Messalis. I can't pronounce that, but again, it's all going to be in the description. And then XPAX 120. So congratulations to you guys. Y'all are the winners of the LAYRNX Miner tokens. And we had 3 runners up, and I am not going to leave you guys high and dry. Y'all will be getting 200 Hive Commerce tokens from the Hive Hustlers account staked directly to your wallets. So thank you for playing that. And we are going to be getting back to the show. Again, all that information will be down in the description. So thank you guys for joining in with that. So, real quick, I want to know what is, and y'all can go at any time, what are your favorite type of content to see on 3Speak? Like, what's the kind of stuff that you go and watch and that kind of thing? For me, I've been trying to dig for the music stuff lately because, you know, I've been trying to get my mind into that set, and there's some really awesome musicians throwing stuff out there on 3Speak and that kind of thing. So what is some of your favorite stuff to watch?
Kind of like some of the conspiracy stuff, some of the edgy stuff that isn't on YouTube. I think like the Outer Light puts out some pretty interesting content. Okay. Yeah, sort of the edgier stuff I like.
Yeah, a lot of those people need that voice, you know, and that's where you guys are coming in great with that. Reason I like is with some of the music is because even with YouTube is why 3Speak is great for musicians, and I'm just going to throw this out there real quick, is because there's so many issues with copyright licenses and stuff. If you play the same chord half the time as somebody else has put out, they're going to throw some kind of copyright license strike on you. I have to deal with this all the time. So I'm basically done posting music out there on YouTube, and that's why all my music is coming to 3Speak, because we don't deal with those kind of issues. And so yeah, that's why I like, you know, I've been coming for that. But the conspiracy stuff is cool too, because yeah, you do get a different view than you did on the popular platforms and that kind of thing. So Matt, what's your favorite stuff to watch?
I'm liking, I mean, one of the things I like is that there's so many different types of content. I didn't expect it. I thought it would mostly be conspiracy realist type content, but in reality, there's a little bit of that, and there's a lot of all sorts of other things on there. There's a lot of music, there's a lot of people talking about philosophy, there's a lot of people talking about photography and things like Splinterlands on there. You know, like there's so many cool different aspects to 3Speak that I didn't even realize would pop up. And one of the things that I like the most is the people who are starting, people like you, who are starting to realize like how freaking important this technology is. And then not only that, but like educating yourselves enough so that you can go out and articulately talk about it as well. You know, and that's what the ecosystem really, really needs. So I like, you know, like people like Taskmaster, for example. I like to tune into his take on things because he has a slightly different take sometimes, and it's well thought out normally. And it's based in a guy that's done a lot of research in this field and is very, very knowledgeable, and he's made himself knowledgeable. It's not like he was back in the day. He's quite a recent addition to the community, but he's passionate about it and he gets it. And it's like, yeah, that guy can then go and articulately talk about this stuff to other people, and that's really what the movement needs. And one of the things that it struggles with a little bit is the fact that a lot of the old school crypto people from like 2017 ICO scene, they can't really talk about it in that way because a lot of them are compromised because they gave themselves 40% of their own tokens at the start, right?
Yeah.
This is a problem. You shouldn't be doing this if you're in decentralization. And people like Taskmaster are well versed in this, and you know, you and other people as we go forward will be able to talk more articulately about why it's important to have true, real decentralization that cannot be regulated apart from by the community itself. And then we can start to take ownership of our own digital footprint. So I just like seeing those types of guys talking about this stuff and realizing, holy shit, the possibilities of this going forwards and the new things that are going to come from it. You know, and then articulating that and discussing that with their communities and just seeing the discourse grow. You know.
Yeah, Taskmaster's a machine. I'm actually going to be having him on in 2 weeks. So yeah, that'll be a good time talking with him because yeah, he is the top earner on Hive and he's putting out posts and videos and everything else. So I'm always catching his little macro moments that he's putting up there on 3Speak and his different videos. And but yeah, I like watching some of that and listening to some of the different economical takes and that kind of thing. And I've been getting in myself, some of the gaming things as well because yeah, you got Splinterlands, the action happening everywhere, but I'm really excited for like CyberX and that kind of thing. So I want some action gaming happening going on.
Yeah, I mean the guys like Taskmaster, for example, he's really made it his life's mission to work out how to earn money from all of this stuff, and this is the future.
Yeah.
Right? Let's not beat around the bush. You've got Web 2 where your ass is owned and your content is owned, and if you say the wrong thing, you lose everything.
Exactly.
Right? And then you've got Web 3 where you own it all yourself, and then now it's like, well, from that, there's all these other implications and all these other possibilities and opportunities to earn value that may not be worth much now, but in the future could be. And guys like Task and John Olson have really made it their life's mission to work out how to produce value in the ecosystem and receive rewards for it. And I think that's going to be the future going forward. So it's definitely worth listening to those guys because they've got lots of cool tips. They know a lot more than me about earning money in the ecosystem. That's for sure.
And that's why I'm having him on. I had John Olson on this past Wednesday, so y'all can see that on the channel as well. But yeah, it's those guys have figured it out. They're finding that magic sauce, and I'm working on that. I'm actually kind of pretty much full time. I'm almost there, fully in crypto, and a lot of it is based on Hive. Got some DeFi action that helps out as well. But yeah, I mean, getting into the different things that you guys are doing. Dan, you've got a game coming out on the Speak Network called Ragnarok. You want to talk about that any? Can you share anything?
Yeah, sure. The claim tokens are going to be coming out pretty soon. You'll be doing it, pretty sure, from the same website that you claim the Speak Network LAYRNX miner tokens.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to just roll out in phases. So first you'll have these basically mint tokens, and you'll mint one token for one NFT, and you don't know what NFT you're going to get. So just a good way for people to sort of trade the NFTs in bulk without having to list the individual ones. I thought for people who didn't want to be in the game, they can just sell it like they would a token. And then we're going to start with the images. So you'll claim the images, it'll have the stats and all of that, but the game won't be quite ready at that point. But you'll at least have the art, you'll know what characters you have, you can start building your decks and trading around and doing all that. And then we'll have a testing phase. And from there, when the community votes that the game is good to go live after a year testing period, because Ragnarok, I don't know if you're familiar with the mechanics, but each season lasts a year, and there's a grand prize for the winners at the end of each year, sort of like sort of how Madden does it, or if you've ever seen like a poker leaderboard for the year, it's sort of where it
Yeah.
was inspired from. Yeah. And we're going to have a test run from there, but there'll be live prizes during the testing phase. So it'll still be fun and enjoyable. And then, yeah, then it'll be released in the wild. But the token should be coming out fairly soon. We're still have main focus on getting the Speak network solid, making sure the side chain is stable and all that, and we can handle it. But everything's looking good, so shouldn't be a problem.
Awesome.
I think one of the cool things to note about that game that I'm pretty sure you can't really say about any other game. Maybe there's a few others that you could, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's not Dan's game, as it were. You know, Dan's like come up with part of the idea, and people are helping him build it. But the way he's doing it is that it will be owned and built by and for the community. You know, it won't be owned by Dan. You know, and this is what's really, really cool about this next generation of play-to-earn gaming. That it will be owned by the community itself that uses it, and that community then will be able to go leverage that game and use it to make profits to bring into the ecosystem, which then get locked into the ecosystem and distributed around the token holders. You know, so, and of course, Dan is then incentivized to be a token holder in that ecosystem, just like me and you are. You know, but we all own it collectively as a community rather than as one individual entity.
Yeah, I'm loving where these play to earn games are going and that kind of thing. I never thought that I would be, I'm getting ready to turn 40. I never thought that I would be this age wanting to be a professional gamer, but it's happening. And with
and
Splinterlands, and I'm
owning a
definitely
piece
going
of
to
the
be looking
game
into
and
Ragnarok
owning,
and
yeah.
exactly. It's like, the whole GameFi thing behind it is, yeah, you are an owner of it. It's like I can take my cards, and I believe I've understand that y'all gonna be able to do the card rentals as well. But that's one thing I love about Splinterlands is I don't always have time to play, but that's where I can rent out and earn passive income, at the same time. And if I decide to flip, if I need some liquid assets, then boom, I can flip it on the marketplace. It's good stuff, and we need more of that. And I'm glad that you guys are opening that up on the Speak Network. Now, I know you guys are doing a lot with the Deluxe crew. So is that just basically where the tokenomics are coming into play? Instead of using something like Hive Engine, y'all are using the Deluxe network?
Yeah, I can answer that. We use Deluxe for a few reasons. One, Disregard's really skilled, and he stepped up and showed a lot of enthusiasm,
Yeah,
and
he's
was
great.
there when we needed someone to have our back. So that was one of the reasons. But also, we really believe in the vision. We believe to scale layer 2 smart contract platforms, you're really going to have your own node system. You don't want to, you see with Ethereum, they try to build it on one layer, but you're basically just socializing fees to those who don't want to use smart contracts. You have somebody
Yeah.
minting a bunch of NFTs, and you have some poor guy just wanting to send a transaction. He socialized, he has to pay for those mintings of the NFTs. We don't believe that's the future. We believe it's going to be more of a community per sidechain, make the sidechain super scalable, very easy to run, incentive loops to run the very cheap infrastructure, because Hive does a lot of the heavy lifting with the account management and all of that. So Deluxe technology with the honeycomb technology just fits really great with that vision. So it just sort of right time, right place, right technology sort of thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, can I add to that just to put it into your
Go
mind how that
for it,
works?
man.
It's like, so you've got Hive as the base layer, and then you've got what would be it's currently the Speak claim chain is the next layer. So that's where we've got about 44 node operators at the moment running that decentralized ecosystem.
Gotcha.
And as we build the governance out and the Speak network, the Speak token out onto that, so all the Speak tokenomics will work on that layer. And then as you spin up a community, I don't know if you saw in our presentation last Sunday, but we've now got the ability to very quickly spin up individual communities using Xensi as the base, and we fork Xensi, and every time we create a new community, we create a new fork of Xensi with your logo on, your color scheme. Well, it's a limited color scheme at the moment, but we're building that out, and then your community built into it, right? So and it's basically zero cost. We think it's zero cost. There may be a very small fee, but we're getting to that point at the moment, and we're trying to set that technology up over the next few weeks. But what that will do is, as Dan was saying there, when you spin up that community, it will automatically spin up 4 or 5 volunteer nodes from the main pool will move across to help you sustain your community as a decentralized community, and that will have its own token on it that's separate to the Speak layer. So you see, so you're going to have all these communities, and they'll all have their own nodes running, right? and it will be multiple nodes. So each community will be decentralized on at least 5, probably 10 or 15 nodes. And then as that grows and the community gets involved, those original node operators will probably be able to step away and make way for the actual community, the community members to actually run the infrastructure.
So we may be starting up a straight up CoinLogic TV community on 3Speak. That sounds awesome.
Well, on Speak Network. So 3Speak's just
or
one
on
of the
Speak
platforms.
Network.
Yeah.
Sure,
man. It'd be really cool.
That would be awesome. I'm excited what you guys are doing with that. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with that for sure because I actually have a domain ready for that. Well, nice. Awesome. Yeah. Well, you guys, you have anything else that y'all want to mention while we, have a little bit of time here? And
just touching on what he was talking about with the tokenized communities. I think we're not there yet. We have the ability to spin up a community very easily.
Yeah.
Integrate a token into that, and then having the plug and play tokenomic models. I think that is we felt for a very long time that's the killer use case of Hive and Web3 in general, being able to organize communities, give them ability and tools to self-sustain outside the ecosystem or outside of the system and be self-sovereign. We haven't quite seen that in mass. We've seen sprinkles of it. Leo Finance is a great example.
Yeah.
But making it turnkey and very easy for the masses to do that, I think, is going to be a very pivotal point. So that is what I'm very excited about in the next coming months, is getting that technology rolled out and polished.
Yes. Go ahead.
I completely agree with that. It really is our job as a Speak Network builders to make that as easy as possible for the users. So we're definitely having a good crack at that at the moment. We've got a couple of great guys working on that, and we're excited to see where that goes. And the other side as well, Dan, on top of that, is making it really easy to implement this capability, these Web3 capabilities, i.e. the immutable accounts, the off-chain accounts with the Ceramic Network, the off-chain storage, the off-chain incentivization, the communities, spinning the communities up onto multiple nodes, and the tokens and the governance layers of those communities. If we can package that and then go, and as a community, give that to you guys to go take to the other platforms and show the other platforms, hey, look, I'm just a member of this community. I part own it, but here's what it can do for you. Do you want to try integrating it? And if you think about it, you take like a BitChute or an Odyssey, for them to build that technology out themselves in a truly decentralized way, it's going to take them years, and they could integrate the Speak Network into their platform within a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
So the engineering hours for them to do that is almost none compared to what it would be for them to do it themselves in a truly honest, decentralized way. And so that's the other thing I'm hoping to see, as well as just the community spinning up on their own kind of and standing on their own feet with their own governance systems. I'm looking forward to seeing other platforms start to implement this technology as well.
Yeah, being able to make it easy for people that are non-developers or, somebody with, a little bit of development experience kind of thing is what's going to help kind of drive growth for a lot of these platforms. Because I know, like, for myself, all the stuff that I'm building, I'm a WordPress guy. I took a page out of Henry Ford's book. I take stuff that's been pre-built and I put it together and make it work the way I want it to, kind of thing. And and that's where, like, I ended up falling into the Hive engine thing was because, they put together the, condenser pages for you and all that kind of stuff. But, it's getting expensive. And so, yeah, you guys are offering that video backing with the nodes and everything for basic, for very small fees, basically nothing, as long as you can, have a little bit of, tech knowledge, then that'll be very helpful, but trying to make things as easy as possible for the end users is really kind of where we need to be going with it. Because I feel that that's where, in a lot of these platforms, we've got developers that are developing for other developers and other really savvy people. But in the end, it's, we need to be trying to really get anybody, any average person with, little knowledge to be able to come in and learn about this. And that's where I like where you guys are going with the onboarding, because that's been one big pain. At least in my experience, trying to get people to come on and that kind of thing. It's just, what are all these different keys and what's all this, being able to just get them in and get them going in a nice, smooth fashion. And now with video, before, Leo Finance, they had a, nice solution for that. But being able to get into the video platforms and get started easily is going to be a game changer. So I'm glad you guys are doing that kind of stuff. All right. Well,
sure.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys coming on. It's really kind of all the questions that I had right now. It's just a lot to kind of swim in because you guys have a lot going on. Is there anything else going on Hive that you guys are really excited about?
Yes, another whole hour worth of show.
Yeah, that is. I hear you. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming on and spending a little bit of time with us today. So congratulations again to the winners of the LAYRNX miner tokens. I will be giving those out here in just a little bit and putting the winners in the description of the post. And this will be also replayed on 3Speak TV as well. You'll be able to play the replay here on Twitter. But yeah, guys, thanks for spending a little bit of your time today. And, everybody that is in here, we had a nice little gathering, seems like. Thanks for stopping by and listening in. And I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to be trying to do these every Friday in one form or another. And so if anybody has any thing they want to know about, any pressing issues they want to hear about and see a Twitter space, trying to get everybody involved, then let me know in the comments and that kind of thing. But do you guys have any parting words that y'all want to tell the crowd?
You go first, Matt.
Let me go first. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to speak to you, Coin Logic, and it's nice to see guys like you. You've got a good quality setup coming on, and it's, hopefully you'll be able to take some of the messages that we're talking about and articulate those to your audiences as well. And I just look forward to the community starting to understand what this is that we're building and then spread it. And in the very near future, we're going to have the ability to spin up these communities. We're going to have the ability to tokenize your own communities. We're going to have the ability to run nodes and get rewarded for running those nodes. So slowly, but slowly, then suddenly done. It'll all happen over the next few months. And once we've got that in your hands, we're looking forward to seeing guys like you go run with that and show it to people.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on some of these demos. And yeah, if you guys have anything that y'all want demoed out or anything, let me know. I'll be happy to do some videos for you guys as well.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Well, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I appreciate, again, for you guys taking your time and coming on and talking to the crowd about 3Speak. We're going to be getting this out to as many ears as we possibly can. And hopefully we can do this again in the future in one way or another.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Thank you.
No problem.
Putting this together.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you guys for being one of the first ones. I'm getting this new format started, so just trying to get more and more comfortable out there. And we're going to be projecting this out to the world because I believe you guys have a really awesome platform and anybody can come and speak their message on it without fear of censorship and fear of any tech oligarchies deciding what you can and cannot say. So we can't do that here. And come be part owner and come learn how to run nodes and support this awesome network. So guys, I just again thank you very much, and that's going to be the end of this thing. So everybody out there, be cool, be real, always abide, and don't get wrecked out there in these crazy markets.